So how are we going to understand about these UFOs? And who are they? These unidentified objects that millions of people have seen. and the CIA intelligence know who they are, and the Nation of Islam know who they are. And a lot of people are seen them, are wondering who they are. Where can you get this knowledge and understanding from? The Bible. Let's go to Ezekiel, the first chapter, first verse. Now it came to pass in the 30th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month. The 4th month. Most of y'all would say, hey, that's April. No. Guess what? It is July. Check it out. It's July. July is the 4th month. Your new year is April. So if you go April, May, June, July. So therefore, it's the what? 5th day. July the 5th. In the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of the king Jehoiachin captivity, the word of the Lord came expressly unto Ezekiel the priest, the son of Buzi, in the land of the Chaldeans by the river Shebar, and the hand of the Lord was there upon him. Now, I really don't care if I pronounce none of these names or whatever correctly, but anyway, let's get the story correct, okay? So this is talking about the captivity, okay? If you do the little studies of Babylon, Ezekiel is an Israelite, so we're just talking about the Israelites being in captivity in Babylon. Let's move forward. The 4th verse. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man. We was taught to have an imagination. Now, if you can't put this into your imaginations, not what white people do, because white people always try to steer you away from the truth. No, don't even take what they need to take. You can get it. You can get it. So it's talking about a mist of a cloud, so it's above. And then it came out and said, what, a whirlwind. And it said in the cloud in the midst of a fire. In the midst of a fire, amber. And then they said inside it was a likeness of a man. So inside those UFOs is a likeness of a man. They're men. Black men. Let's see if we can prove that. Let's go back to the scriptures. 7th verse. And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf foot, and they sparkle like the color of burnished brass. So it's telling you they color is brass, brown. They're brown. And remember, they have a likeness of a man. Okay? And they had the hands of a man under their wings on their 4 sides, and they 4 had their faces and their wings. And their wings were joined one to another, and they turned not when they went. They went every one straight forward. So they just riding together. Okay, 10. As for the likeness of their faces, they 4 had the face of a man, and the face of a lion on the right side, and they 4 had the face of an ox. on the left side, and they four also had the face of the eagle. Y'all don't get this? You must don't know your history, huh? Let's go back to our history of the original Egyptians, right? What did they paint it on the wall? To show you. The likeness faces of four, okay? The face of a man. Face of a lion. The face of an ox. Face of an eagle. Thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched upward. Two wings of every one were joined one to another, and two covered their bodies. And they went every one straight forward, whether the spirit was to go. They went, and they turned not when they went. So what? They are flying. Let's go to the next one. 13. As for the likeness of the living creatures, this is talking about who is inside. Their appearance was like a burning coals of fire. Burning coals of fire, black, dark as ever, black. The original black man was what? Dark black. And like the appearance of lamps. That means their faces lit up. Okay? I don't know how you say a person so dark but it lit up. It's just like when it talks about David, how beautiful he was and how dark he was. Talking about Solomon, how beautiful he was and how dark he was. It went up and down among the living creatures. So what went up and down was the UFOs up and down.
Holy shit!
And the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning. And the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning.
Whoa! Attends, ouais?
Ouais, moi c'est... Oui, tu peux même pas me vendre. Non,
quello non voglio dire.
moi c'est...
Yo!
Now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures with his four faces. This is his identity. When it talks about the faces, it's talking about, when you talk about those pictures that we just seen about the lion, the ox, the man, eagle. You would get that I'm talking about the original black man, which is the original Egyptians. It's telling you the location. It's telling you where they're from and who they are. 16. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a beryl. And they four had one likeness, and their appearance of their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. This is also the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The wheel within the wheel. That means you got that mothership and you got the mother wheels that come out of that mothership. That's why they had so many in LA. But then if you look closer, you got that wheel within the wheel. 17. When they went upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went. As for their rings, They were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them four. You know what they are. When you talk about the eyes, you know what they are. It's that fire coming down to make it go up. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. That means the living creatures are inside the wheels. So when you're inside the wheels, when the wheels go up, you go up, because you're inside. Whithersoever the spirit was to go, they went. Whether there was spirit to go, the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. There you go. When those went, these went. And when those stood, these stood. And when those were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. And the lightness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creature was as the color of the terrible crystal stretched forth over the heads above the heavens. So now we know the creatures, the living creatures, are in the wheels. And now we know what color they are. They are black, dark skinned, and yet beautiful. They are inside of the wheels, flying up. And I saw as a color of amber. This is talking about what the wheels look like. And I saw as a color of amber, as the appearance of fire round about within it, from the appearance of his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward. I saw as it were the appearance of fire, and it had brightness round about, so the wheels are bright yellow. As the appearance of the bow is in the cloud in the day of rain, so was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. And when I saw it, I fell upon my face and heard a voice that spake. It is not green people.
Including the White House, the U.S. Capitol Building, and Andrews Air Force Base, which also reported radar contact and visual confirmation of, quote, an object which appeared to be like an orange ball of fire, trailing a tail unlike anything I had ever seen before, unquote. They reappeared again. This time, the Air Force was ready, but military attempts to intercept were unsuccessful. Every time a jet fighter drew near, the glowing objects would fly away at incredible speeds, measured on the radar to be over 7,000 miles per hour. One pilot reported pursuing 4 glowing white objects at 400 miles per hour, his maximum speed, when they suddenly turned and surrounded him. He radioed the control tower for instructions and received only stunned silence in reply, before the 4 UFOs harmlessly sped away. The government's official position on the incident is that all eyewitnesses were mistaken, and that all the expert radar controllers and supervisors were confused by readings of a common, everyday weather pattern. But how could the government take this position when they obviously sent the Air Force after the objects? Just what could invade what could be said to be America's most important no-fly zone, and do so with abilities that seem to defy known laws of physics? For example, flying faster than 7,000 miles per hour would create a sonic boom, but the object simply remains silent.
So what does all this mean?